So now we are looking at these three other works by Olafur, belong to a group of work called the Three Arctic Horizon, that Olafur has dispatched in the Serralves Park. I think we have total about 9 of them in the park. Actually, they are almost some of my favorite works in this project that the Serralves Museum has done with Olafur Eliasson. They look extremely simple, but they're actually more complex than they look. There are a series of tree trunks that Olafur Eliasson finds and brings to the studio and harvest, if you want, on the shore of Iceland. Then the question is, where do these tree trunks come from? Because there are no forests in Iceland, so they have to come from somewhere else. They had to have been traveling from somewhere else. So Olafur started to trace their journey and figured out that they came from, I believe, Eastern Europe, Siberia, where massive amount of forests are still being cut and the lumber being shipped around on large cargoes on the sea. Well, some of the tree trunks in the cargo escape. They fall in the water and they disappear in the ocean. It's actually interesting. We're talking about the Middle Passage with Arthur Jaffa. So this tree trunk have invented their Middle Passage through their travel on the sea. Then the currents that they are submitted to bring them to Iceland, where they land on the shore. Some of these trees started to appear more and more because of the climate change. A lot of these trees, I believe, when they fall in the Siberian water, get caught in the ice, get caught in iceberg. And then with the melting of the ice cap, a lot of these trees are released to the current and end up in Iceland. So Olafur pick them up, bring them to the studio, paint half of the tree in black. You can see here you have a black line. So there are different ways to understand this black line. In Iceland, when architecture is built out of wood, or when boats are built out of wood, in order to protect the wood, and I believe to make the wood waterproof, the wood is painted or covered with tar, black tar, that isolate the wood from water. So you can see that maybe in this color, but it is also the line of the water when the tree trunks are floating on the ocean. So what do we learn from these trees? Well, what I love about them is that when they landed here in the park of Serralves, they brought with them the memory of water, the memory of their journey on the ocean. If we understand that they were released from the ice with the melting of the ice cap, then we also understand that they also talk about what's happening when it comes to climate change. And this very mute structure actually have a story about the change happening in the world. But then you can also expand this story about what's happening on the ocean, the pollution, the economy of the ocean. We know that on international water, there is entire industry of, for instance, of fishing, almost illegal, almost reinventing slavery on gigantic fishing boat where the employees disappear, don't have their passport anymore. So these trees, and it's just an example that we might edit, come with an entire invisible story. And as they sit here in the park mute, what I like to see in them is this invisible history, this invisible memory that is carried through the ocean back to us.